So before the video starts, I want to clear up two things. First of all, yes, this video is quite old. It's from last season. And second of all, in the first match of the video, I did more cuts than usual. Like I cut out all the silence and all the parts where nothing is happening. But this will resume to normal in the second match because it was just way too much effort. Anyways, enjoy the video. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. As usual, I'm playing Penny Dreadful on MTGO. We are currently in season 41, although we did have a supplemental rotation a few weeks back that was with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this deck does play some of those cards from that set. So I've called this deck Double Combo for now. It's black-white. I don't know if that name will stick, but basically it's two combos in one deck. They both revolve around Buried Alive, which can triple entomb, kind of, like get 3 creatures from the deck into the grave. And the first combo is the Mimeoplasm combo. So the idea is we target, or like we search for these 3 creatures, Flare of the Hatebound, Yargle and Multani, and the Mimeoplasm. And then the next turn, or the same turn if it's like turn 5 or something, we play Vesper Lark to return the Mimeoplasm to the battlefield. Then it will enter as a copy of one creature and get counters equal to the power of the other creature. And of course we copy the player and we put 18 plus 1% counters on it, and that's usually enough to kill the opponent. Although of course, like against some decks like Auras or Angels, it can sometimes not be enough. But we still have another combo in the deck. That one's also revolving around Buried Alive, but this time we Buried Alive for at least Glinthorn, Buccaneer, and Tandem Lookout. And next turn, or like same turn if we have enough mana, we Leonardo's Technique for both of these creatures. And usually we will have a discard outlet, a free discard outlet on the board. We have 7 of those in the deck, mostly Guardian of New Benalia, but also some black ones. And then we can just infinitely discard cards from our hand and ping our opponent with that. Because we always, with the Tandem Lookout, we always draw a card whenever we discard one. Kind of like we deal damage with the Glinthorn Buccaneer, and each time it deals damage, we draw a card, so we can kind of deal as much damage as we have cards in the library. The rest of the deck is just like a black-white shell around those combos. Although I guess I do need to mention that sometimes we will also entomb or like Buried Alive for Songcrafter Mage and or Priest of Felrites. Songcrafter Mage is basically just there because if you have one of the discard outlets in the grave and you have the Tandem Lookout and the Glinthorn Buccaneer in the grave, but you don't have a discard outlet on the board, you can actually Bury the Alive for Songcrafter Mage and Tandem Lookout and Glinthorn Buccaneer. Then you can return the Songcrafter Mage and one of these other pieces to the battlefield with Leonardo's Technique. Harmonize the technique by tapping the Songcrafter Mage, and then for 1 more mana you get back the other piece and you get the discard outlet, and then you can win that way. It costs 1 more mana that way, but still very useful. And of course, when you have one of the pieces of the Mimeoplasm combo in your hand or in the grave, and well, if you have it in your hand, you have to discard it first, but then you have 1 more spot for Buried Alive, and you can Buried Alive for Priest of Felrites, and that way you can kind of skip the Vesper Lark step and just pay 5 mana, unearth the Priest, and get back the Mimeoplasm that way. Can also be very useful. So yeah, and then of course 7 discard outlets. Guardian of New Benalia is a good one. The other 3 are kind of meh, but they have upsides and downsides as well. Airlift Chaplain is also kind of useful. It's a 1 power creature, so we can get it back with Vesper Lark if we don't have the combo online or something like that. But it also mills us some, and we can grab a land from it, we can grab a creature from it if we get one. It has about an 80% chance of getting something, otherwise it will just get a +1/+1 counter, which is also fine. And it's also great with Leonardo's Technique because we can sneak that in, return the Chaplain, and then replay it next turn for extra value. Also we have Splinter's Technique, also a sneak card. Can just tutor for a card. Pretty useful. Demonic Tutor always good, especially in the combo deck. And that's basically the deck. We play a lot of lands, 26 in total, but 6 of those are utility lands with Midgar, Mirrex, and Realm of Ko. Also 4 temples because we have no turn 1 plays, and we have a lot of dead air in the deck that we want to scry to the bottom. And yeah, the sideboard is just mostly 1 and 2 offs that we can sometimes tutor with Splinter's technique. Plague Engineer is basically just against goblins right now. Magus of the Moat notably can also be returned by Vesperlark, so I think that might be useful. But yeah, so enjoy the video, have fun watching, and let's see you in the gameplay. Alright, so first match of the tournament. Okay, my opponent is immediately on Yorion. I suspect it's Ors of Yorion in fact. And I've got actually both combos in hand, kind of. So this is a snap keep. I don't have a turn 2 play, unfortunately, but I can do the Vesperlark Mimeoplasm combo. There's even a tutor in my hand, so pretty good hand. They might have stuff like Castigate type of effect. They might not have it. I mean, it's a Yorion deck. They have a lot of cards. Well, we'll find out. Okay, Bitter Blossom, totally fine for me. Doesn't really impact my strategy. Okay, luckily didn't draw any of the combo pieces. Oh, they might also have Kaya's Guile. And that would be pretty bad for me. They can activate it at instant speed, so yeah, that would cost me a lot of resources. But again, I might just win here as well. So that would be, yeah, pretty fast game. Okay, Raven Eagle is very annoying. Wait, what did they exile? They exiled the Mimeoplasm, of course, yeah. Yeah, that's in the main deck, of course, yeah. How do I go about that? Like, Raven Eagle is a big problem. It basically means I have to do the combo in 1 turn from now on. Yeah, just gonna play my Una's Prowler here. Also a terrible blocker into their board. But it's always a terrible blocker, so that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna block the Raven Eagle or something because they can discard a card and they can kind of recoup it with their clue tokens anyways. Yeah, in their place I would just attack with both creatures, yeah. They can exile more of my combo, it doesn't matter anyways now, since the Mimeoplasm is gone. Escape Tunnel, okay. Yeah, that can make stuff unblockable, but not really super relevant. A third Splinter's technique, and no land. So I guess I'm just playing Splinter's technique for 4 mana here. Probably getting Buried Alive. Buried Alive isn't too useful either because I probably won't be able to sneak in the Leonardo's technique. So it's 7 mana to execute the combo. But then again, what else could I even do? We don't have main ward removal. It's tough. Fortunately enough, they don't have huge amounts of pressure here. It's already an uphill battle when my opponent has Raven Eagle game 1. We'll see if I can still win this. Yeah, also notably I don't have a lot of removal in my sideboards, which is probably a mistake. I only have Dam actually for like creature removal. Also thanks to Bitter Blossom they will always have 1 blocker up. Also extra annoying for the sneaking. Skullcap Snail. Kind of annoying. Yeah, what do I want to exile? I mean, Vesperlark is pretty useless now. Okay, Guardian. I would have preferred a land. Yeah, so actually I don't really think I can win this game unless I draw like 3 lands in a row, which in this case would actually be good, even though it would be bad in a lot of cases, but here it would be good. So I guess game 2 I'm boarding in Dam for sure. Probably Plague Engineer, at least 1 against the fairy tokens, because I assume they play more Bitter Blossoms. I mean, they might not, but yeah, still not blocking anything. They have 7 cards in hand, so they don't really have to care. Also, since they kept up mana in the last few turns, at least I think so, they might also have the Kaya's Guile. So yeah, another Skullcap Snail. Some Splinter Stink will have to go. Chaplain is a pretty good draw here. It blocks, so that's good. Yeah, I don't need the Guardian. I'm taking the planes for sure. Okay, actually, if they make the mistake of attacking with all their stuff next turn, because I have 2 flyers now, so if they only have 1 flyer as a blocker, and no removal, then I might be able to sneak something in. Okay, yeah, so much about that. Oh, actually, I could have double discarded to make that illegal. Yeah, I didn't think about that in the moment, but also I wouldn't want to discard both of my combo pieces anyways. Okay, so that is 4, 6, 8 damage. So I do have to block. And I do have to block the Raven Eagle. Okay, yeah. I do have it. Yeah, they're probably discarding something here. Yeah, another Bitter Blossom. Yeah, Leonardo's Technique. Basically irrelevant here. Yeah. Nope, that game is lost for sure. I'm boarding in Dam, then at least one Plague Engineer. Magus is pretty useless since all the creatures are flying anyways. Boromir might be useful because like it's Wrath protection at least. I guess I'm bringing in at least one Disenchant against like Ruined Halo type of effects. Yeah, okay, so looking at the latest list from my opponent, they do likely play 4 Bitter Blossom, which warrants a second Plague Engineer. They play 4 Raven Eagle. Yikes. 4 Kaya's Gale. 3 Flares of Malice, although I guess that's not super relevant. And the sideboard, so I guess for now I will cut the Disenchant. Bit risky, of course, I might still have something. Yeah, the 2 flying discarders are not that useful. Yeah, I'm not super happy with this configuration, but yeah, they're probably bringing in the Banquets, Wretched Banquet. And that's probably it. Still on Yorion, of course. Okay, I have 2 lands, but one is the Temple of Silence. But also I have 2 combo pieces in the hand that I don't want to have in the hand, so it's a mulligan. Which is a pretty common thing with this deck, that you have something in your starting hand that you want on the bottom, so you take a mulligan. But this one looks pretty fine. Of course, I'm looking for a 3rd land here. Okay, Priest is interesting. Yeah, if I draw a land, this is actually lethal. Of course, if they don't, like, Crew Claws heist me or something. Yeah, of course. Nothing's lost yet. Of course, I don't draw a land. Great. So I guess I'm gonna have to Splinter's Technique for a land. Which is always terrible, but I don't think I have much of a choice here. At least I have a temple that can scry as well. Yeah, I guess that goes to the top. Yeah, the turn 2 Crew Claws heist was definitely not great. I would have won otherwise. So here, I probably do take the Vesperlark. Yeah, if they remove my chaplain, I can return it. Otherwise, if I draw a Buried Alive, I can also do the combo. Yeah, no discarder. I mean, of course, I bought 2 of them out. And I don't desperately need them right now. It would be nice kind of to discard a Glinthorn, Buccaneer, and a Priest, and then get them back with Leonardo's Technique, but not super relevant. Okay, what do I get rid of here? Probably the Vesperlark, because it has the least value out of those options. And I need the Buccaneer from my combo, potentially. Okay, another land. Yeah, planes can go to the bottom. I have enough lands now. And I'll attack for 1. No reason to play the technique without a target. Okay, interestingly enough, they Flare of Malice me. It's actually pretty terrible for them. Like, I'd rather have this in the grave than in play. I mean, they probably don't know my deck, but still kind of a weird play, to be honest. Maybe they thought because it was a 1/1 that it was also a 1-mana creature, but I don't know. Yep, I can't respond to that. Splinter's Technique is pretty good here. I'm probably just gonna get Buried Alive. I mean, it will take me a few turns until I can do the combo, but I think it's my best option. Although I also need a discard outlet. Yeah, no, I'll just take the Buried Alive. Everything else doesn't really make sense. I could take like a utility land. That's also not too great. Well, let's see. Yeah, they immediately Cruel Claws heist me. Second one. probably taking the Buccaneer or the Buried Alive. Both are, like, all three options are pretty terrible here. Okay, they take the Buried Alive. Okay, and I have to exile another card. Yeah, I'm gonna have to choose the Buccaneer because, like, the game's not gonna get better if it goes longer for me. Although, okay, I'm gonna exile Leonardo's Technique because, like, right now I'm more or less hellbent anyways. It doesn't really matter what I do, so I'd rather preserve the combo. They're kind of stuck on lands, which is, like, my only hope. Okay, but Kaya seals the deal. Yeah, there's no way I'm beating a Kaya without any cards in hand, without anything in the grave, basically. Only Mirax. Yeah, Raven Eagle, okay. That game was absolutely terrible. I would have had the win both times, both games, but they had early interaction and, like, not removal, because removal isn't super good against the stack, but they had the right kind of interaction. Yeah, and I'm drawing just planes here. Not a good showing for the deck, not a good showing at all. No use in attacking here. Yeah, the ironic thing is now they suspend Profane Tutors, but yeah, they're not gonna need them. Yeah, meanwhile I'm drawing planes like crazy. But I guess this does show that the deck is, like, the combos are kind of fragile. Like, when they remove one of the pieces, like, from the entire deck or, like, graveyard or whatever, then this can sometimes just be over. At least for that half of the combo. You can not usually do the other part. But yeah, Raven Eagle and things that repeatedly attack the graveyard, or also just graveyard exiling things at instant speed, are pretty terrible for this deck. Yeah, okay. I think I've drawn like 5 planes in a row or something. I guess I'm gonna attack here, but it's kind of whatever. At least I'm forcing them to block. Yeah, and with the Profane Tutor, they can just tutor whatever. It's the game has been lost a few turns ago, actually, I think. Yeah, I guess in this case, Plague Engineer also shuts off my Mirax. Yeah, my Plague Engineer, basically useless. Yeah, funnily enough, I have no graveyard, no hand, and 1 creature on the battlefield. And 1 non-land permanent. So, yeah. My chances of winning have rarely been slimmer. Yeah, I mean, I can just concede here. So, yeah, not a great showing for the deck, but maybe the next game will be better. Second match of the tournament. And looking at my opponent, I see that they've been playing goblins for like 20 tournaments in a row. So that's not a great matchup for me, but luckily we have a pretty good starting hand here. Once again, I have the entire combo in my hand. I mean, it's only a 2-card combo, but I do have it in my hand here. Notably, against goblins, the Vesperlark part of the combo is way better than the other one, since with the other combo they can like shoot down the creatures with their goblins, like with Goblin Bombardment or Mog Fanatic, or even Mudbuzz Curse Tosser. So if possible, I'm going to try to always go for the Mimeoplasm combo. Yeah, no turn 2 play once again. Not great against goblins, but also not terrible if I can do the turn 3 combo. They don't have any interaction as far as I know, like nothing that could interact with the Mimeoplasm combo. I just hope I don't draw one of the 3 pieces. That would of course be pretty bad. Okay, they have the Goblin Bombardment. Okay, so this should be an easy win, I think. The 3 things on the grave. Notably, post-board, they are gonna have the Earwig squad, which can potentially exile stuff from my library. They have 1 more Goblin Bombardment and 4 Price of Progress, which could be dangerous, but could also be fine. I mean, I do right now run like, 10 planes? 10 basic planes. So, could also be just fine. Okay, they tap out for Boggart Mischief. Make 2 goblins, so they can deal 2 damage to whatever now, but luckily with this part of the combo, that's gonna be irrelevant. So I'm evoking the Vesperlark. This way it will immediately trigger the Leave the Battlefield ability. I get back the Mimeoplasm. I target my Flayer for the copy and the Yargle for the counters. 22 damage to their face. Although I guess with this part of the combo they could get out of range with the enchantment, which they can actually do here. Of course, then they have like a 20 thing staring at their life total. Okay, but they don't even try. Yeah, they could have gained gone to 1 life. But apparently they choose not to, or they didn't know, or whatever. So that does mean I probably have to board in a lot. The Maguses come in. Plague Engineer comes in, of course. Dam comes in. The Needle effects come in, and Disenchant also has to come in for Goblin Bombardment. Intervention Pact for Price of Progress. So Splinter's Technique, way too slow. Honestly, Airlift Chaplain also kind of just way too slow. And then I guess the rest is mostly fine. Since the game is not gonna go long, I can get rid of 1 uh, of my utility lands, I guess. Yeah, probably the Midgar. Yeah, 25 lands is still a lot, so should be fine. I could even consider going to 24 in this matchup. But I think like this, it should be fine. Basically, I just need to combo fast. Yeah, I mean, the random one-offs don't look super great without the tutor, but like there's no way I can afford to ever like attack and then sneak something in and return my attacker, because like I need stuff to block. So that's the reason why. This hand has some sideboard pieces, but no black mana, also 2 lands. This is a mulligan with minimum plasm in the hand as well. Yeah, this looks great. I actually don't know what to bottom here. Maybe actually the Intervention Pact? Yeah, so Earwig Squad is usually 5 mana. They can prowl it for 3 mana, so they can play it turn 3 at the earliest. Yeah, that's the one way that they win. Yeah, but Intervention Pact is the worst of these. Of course, I could consider bottoming one of the lands, but I don't want to risk not drawing a land in my top 3 cards. And with this configuration that I don't have the Earwig Squad, I probably just win. Even consider using Dam turn 2. Hopefully they don't have the Earwig Squad now, that would be quite terrible. Okay, but they don't seem to have it. Okay, not sure what the purpose of this maneuver is. Pashalik Mons, that's part of a combo. Yeah, I think it combos with like what does it combo with actually? Huh. Because I'm sure there's some combo with this. I mean, right now they can sacrifice a goblin, pay 4 mana to make 2 mana, kind of. Wait, what was the combo with that again? Ah, no, I'm just gonna kill it anyways. Yeah, depending on what they play, I might go for the engineer first. Yeah, like this, I'm definitely going to go for the plague engineer because it kills their board. Okay, they did get the land that they needed, but they can't use it right now. Okay, they can if they sacrifice a goblin, but and I draw the Mimeoplasm. Not a total deal breaker, but still annoying. So now I do need a discard outlet first. Yeah, luckily Plague Engineer is pretty strong against goblins. They can kill it with a Curse Tosser, I guess, but otherwise they can't really do too much against it. Oh, and I can actually try to go for the other part of the combo here. Although, of course, I'm still missing the discard outlet, which I would need for the mimeoplasm part of the combo as well. So which part do I go for here? That's the question. I could also just disenchant the Bogus Mischief. I mean, they have one card in hand, so I can kind of take it slow as well. Especially relevant if they have the Curse Tosser. Since that... Okay, they just concede. Okay. Well, I guess I showed you how to do the combo once, and then I just won with Plague Engineer. I guess it's one way to do it. So, I don't know, maybe the matchup isn't as bad as I thought. Alright, so it is the third match of the tournament. I will need to win this one if I do want to go to the top 4 and the finals, and of course everything in between that. Yeah, there's only 3 rounds because it's an 8 people tournament this time around. So it's 3 rounds of Swiss and then a top 4. So 2 more rounds of playoffs, basically. Yeah, this hand looks not so great. This hand also doesn't look great, but it looks almost playable. Especially with the temple. Yeah, it's a bit risky. 4 lands, a bit much. But I have the tutor, I have the guardian. My opponent was lastly playing goblins. What is that? It's Mount Doom. Okay, yeah, they're still in goblins apparently. Which this deck can apparently win against, as we saw. Buried Alive. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that on top. Yeah, so let's see if I can win again against goblins. Yeah, the Crosscrafter is pretty strong. They don't usually run Price of Progress in the main, so I don't have to worry too much about that. Yeah, this is one of the few times where actually the 3-1 in black, the discarder, would be better than the Guardian. But it does mean that they can't really attack with the Stadium Headliner again this turn. Unless they shoot the Guardian, which would be kind of weird. Okay, they got the Skirk Prospector. Okay, they sacrifice the Stadium Headliner. I guess it makes sense since they can attack with it. Another Curse Crafter. That's pretty dangerous. Okay, they don't attack for some reason. Another Splinter's Technique. Yeah, so I could bury the life here. I could also Guardian, the next turn Splinter's Technique, the next turn after that bury life plus Vesper Lark. But I mean, their damage won't come through attacking. It will come through sacrificing goblins. So I guess I'll just do it now. going for the Mimeoplasm combo, of course, as I've explained for why I do that last game. The reason, of course, being that it's harder to disrupt for the Goblins player. So current plan is next turn Splinter's Technique for Vesperlark, and then the turn after that kill them. Yeah, I'm taking 4 here. Could also block, but I'm not too much in danger yet. Although that might quickly change, yeah, especially with the Mock War Marshal. Because now, actually, is that already lethal? No, right? Yeah, it's lethal, right? Crazy. Yeah, 2 Curse Crafters is super dangerous. Yeah, that's giga lethal, I think. Although actually, that's 6. Okay, maybe it's 1 or 2 off. But I'm not sure. Oh, okay, wait, actually no, I gotta count. So they can sacrifice 3 goblins easily, that's 6 damage. And I'm down to 3. And they sacrifice this. 2. Yeah, I think they're 1 off actually. Well, let's find out. So they would have to do it now. Okay, I mean, they will generate a bunch of red mana. I don't know if they can do anything with that. Yeah, but they are 1 off, right? Yeah, they are 1 off. Because they could sacrifice the Skug Proster to itself, but then no more. Okay, that was really close. And also showed me that I should have blocked with the Guardian. Of course, if they had a Goblin Bombardment, that would have been a different story. But yeah. I'm gonna block the same way, most likely. I'm gonna sideboard the same way, I mean. But actually, Flare of Fortitude might even be interesting. Because it protects the secondary combo, the Leonardo's Technique combo, from pings. Although they can do it in response, so it's not very good. Yeah, so the Airlift Chaplains go out again. Splinter's Technique also still too slow. Beast of Ferrite is kind of interesting to, if I have a turn 2, I won't usually be able to unearth it, but if I just draw it, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, and once again I'm cutting a land, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm just trying the same configuration as last time. I mean, it worked. Although, like, At least in this first game, I got really lucky drawing the Vesperlark, otherwise I would have just lost. But yeah, I guess shows that sometimes I do get lucky. Okay, this hand has Buried Alive, Leonardo's Technique, a Discard Outlet, a Disenchant, only 2 lands, but I can I can scry 1, and have 3 draws, so I guess it's a keep actually. Okay, Morg Fanatic. Not what I love to see here. Another Discard Outlet, not needed. I did get the 3rd land already though. Yeah. So they probably have the Earwig squad again, and besides that, more goblins. Yeah, here I'm surely playing the Guardian. The good thing with Earwig squad is they can only like exile 3 cards, so they can exile one of the combos, but they can't exile all the Buried Alives. Okay, so I guess their plan here is to let me block 1 and then sacrifice the other or something? I don't know. But I blocked this for sure. Yeah, they sacrifice it to deal damage to me. Ah, okay, that changes things a bit. Because I would have played Temple of Silence here and Disenchant. But yeah, I'm still doing that. And this coming in tapped is not super relevant. Yeah, that goes to the bottom. Gonna use it now, sooner rather than later. Okay, they don't sack in response. Maybe they have another one, which means I should have waited with the Disenchant. Okay, they have a Skirk Prospector. Okay, and a Curse Tosser. They can make me discard 1 with that. And also tap this. Okay, no attacks, interestingly enough. Yeah, Songcrafter, kind of whatever. Yeah, the Curse Tosser could be a problem. If they activate it at just the right moment, then I do have a problem. But I don't have the Vesperlark, so there's not really point in going Buried Alive for the Mimeoplasm stuff. Yeah, so Tandem Lookout, Glinthorn Buccaneer, and I guess I can go for the Priest of Fell Rites actually. Or I could go for a Vesperlark. No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, now that they've seen the secondary combo, they probably are gonna keep their Curse Tosser at the base. They're stuck on 2 lands as well. Okay, that's interesting. They choose not to do what I just said. Yeah, Moria Marauder, okay, draws him some cards, basically. Which is good with Skirk Prospector, of course. But I can just combo off next turn, most likely. Unless they draw... Okay, well, not anymore. Not safely anymore, either, anyways. But depends on what they cast here. I think Mock War Marshal is actually mana positive here as well. Yeah, that was some pretty good draws. Almost perfect, actually. Well, I don't know about perfect, but pretty good. Pretty good Moria Marauder. Okay, but they don't have black mana for the Curse Tosser. So... And they can't kill me, right? No. I don't think so, at least. They might have a Goblin Bombardment or something like in hand. That would be terrible. Me. That would actually be lethal, right? Yeah, that would be lethal. Please don't have it. Yeah, I mean, this combo of Moria Marauder, drawing a lot of cards with Skirk Prospector and Curse Tosser is pretty dangerous. Yeah, not really sure what they're doing here. Okay, just Price of Progress to win. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of anticlimactic, but okay. I guess Flare Fortitude is solid against as an answer against Price of Progress. So that might be worth considering. But then again, I only have Vesperlark and Guardian as fodder for it. And also, what do I cut? I guess I can cut 2 Leonardus techniques, since it's not super great here. Maybe I can afford to cut the Priest of Fell Rites, although the turn 3 win is very tempting. Like to have the possibility of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm cutting at least 1 for a Flare. Because Price of Progress can be pretty scary, like it can just deal 6 damage or more. Yeah, I'm keeping it like this with 1 Flare. Okay, let's see if I can win this one. Okay, first hand looks good, besides the fact that I only have one land. This one does look quite a bit better. Doesn't actively do much besides Plague Engineer, but that's pretty good already. And Intervention Pact also can potentially save my life here. Planes. No, I don't need planes. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play the other temple here that I just drew. Also don't need Mirax. Yeah, Plague Engineer, especially good against Stadium Headliner. Yeah, this, their board will get absolutely dumpstered by the Plague Engineer. Yeah, I will play the Concealed Courtyard here. I mean, I have the Intervention Pact for Price of Progress anyways. And I can even get back the Plague Engineer if they manage to kill it. Goblin Bombardment, kind of useless here. So I have a lot of time to get resources. Even have a Magus of the mode. Actually, do I even want to play that? I probably do. I'm not winning with by a combat damage anyways, right? And most of my stuff flies anyways. Yeah, I might just have hindered myself here a bit. But I think, yeah, this should be fine. And very much winnable. Also with the Intervention Pact I can greedily play my lands here. And don't really have to worry. Yeah, my opponent doesn't have anything useful apparently. Yeah, at 5 lands I will probably stop though. Don't need much more than that anyways. And I mean, if they have double the price of progress, yeah. Yeah, they played in the Boggart Mischief. Also pretty useless for them here. Okay, I got a flyer. Yeah, I mean, without the Plague Engineer, this hand would have been pretty useless, and I would have likely lost. But it kind of won me the game here, most likely. Yeah, Curse Crafter doesn't do a lot alone. Mock Fanatic will just die. Yeah, Flare Fortitude also pretty good here. And I can just start attacking with my Prowler. Okay, they take 3. The Curse Crofter won't be able to attack anyways. Okay, so how much damage am I taking here? So I'm taking 6 damage. Not great, but Price of Progress is a bigger problem, so... And they have answers. I could prevent the 6 damage, but I don't think it's worth it. It will gain them some life, of course, but also not a huge problem. Okay, they go down to 12 again. Yeah, really weird game where none of the decks are doing what they're supposed to. I guess their deck is kind of doing what it's supposed to do. Actually, did I bought in Dam? Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay, another 6 damage. At this point, I do want to play the Flare, I think. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, 6 damage is kind of a lot. Yeah, Flare says my life total can change. Yeah, I do think it makes sense here. Preventing 6 damage. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Apparently they do still gain the life. Okay, Buccaneer. Yeah, I'm drawing a lot of kind of bad cards here. Although with... Okay, this... I can potentially... Yeah. I mean, Buccaneer not terrible. But yeah, for now there's no need to do some discard and technique shenanigans. Okay, they discard the bombardment to gain 2 life essentially. Okay, Curse Tosser is potentially a problem as it will kill the Plague Engineer. But I don't have much of a choice to get rid of it either. I can get back the thing next turn, of course. Yeah, let's just hope they don't have much gas left after this. Okay, nothing apparently. Okay, I guess then I will discard the Buccaneer and try to get it back. Next turn with the technique. Yeah, they might try to Price of Progress. Okay, they don't. Maybe they still do it in the end step. The Buccaneer can't attack, of course. So at this point I can basically deal 4 damage at instant speed. Then discard another Goblin Bombardment. Okay, luckily I do have the Intervention Pact for that. And I will gain 8 life, I think. Yeah. Very lucky that I had that. Oh, and also dealt them some damage. Yeah, that's another 6 to my face. I could discard the Songcraft Mage end of turn to potentially replay Flare, but in my turn that's not really useful. Okay, do I want to play the Realm of Ko? It does open me up to Price of Progress. So probably not. Also, I can attack with the Spirit anyways, right? Yeah. Very intense game. I have 4 damage in my hand. Price of Progress plus Goblin is lethal. So they do need to discard a card here to save their life. Okay, I don't die to Price of Progress. So I think I can safely just discard some cards and deal them 1 damage. So I should win, right? Oh, okay, they can... yeah. No, don't tell me they have Price of Progress still. Oh, okay, they do that. I can get back the Prowler with a technique. I can deal them 3 damage. Okay, yeah, I should have just done that in response. But I fucked it up. Unfortunate. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the Guardian. Although I guess the Prowler is better. No, I'll just try with the Guardian, it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's see if they find the price of progress here. Don't tell me they have it. Please. Although it would kill themselves as well. That would mean a tie, which is not great. Okay, Cursecrafter's fine. They gain 1 life with that. Okay, 0 cards in hand, so I think I'm safe. I mean, I should have returned the Prowler, then I could have attacked. Okay, I can do the combo here, right? No, I can do it next turn. Okay, no, I can do it here. They can sack this, and they can destroy my thing, right? Yeah, they can destroy the Lookout. But at least I can force him to do that, right? Okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it. They have no mana anyways. They do have mana, but they don't have any cards in hand. So, Lookout. Actually, I guess I can... Okay, I don't know. I guess Revoker could be useful. Okay, if I bring back Revoker and Tandem, it should be a win, right? Okay, I'm gonna say Goblin Bombardment. Okay, and I win, right? Okay. Ooh, that was a nail biter. Barely won that. Okay, I mean, I was kind of comfortable at 8 life, but 1 price of progress would have reset the game, and I don't know if I would have won the next game. Whew. But crazy. Alright, so top 4. Made it. Semifinals, I will be on the play. Okay, and immediately I get a hand with 3 planes. a Buried Alive, and a Vesperlark, and a Leonardo's Technique. So my chances of drawing a black producing land are not that high. However, the hand is pretty good otherwise. Like if I draw a black producing land, it's great. Otherwise I can still like discard the Vesperlark maybe. Like I think it's good enough. I gotta take the gamble. Okay, yeah. It's risky for sure. Okay, my opponent played Azorius Control in the last tournament. Against that, this hand would be fine. I think. Although I don't think Control is a great matchup either way. As they can just kind of counter everything I do. But that's kind of just a way of playing combo against Control. But maybe they play like Goblins or something instead. Okay, that is not Control. That looks more like eggs, in fact. With Tameshi, most likely. Although they don't usually play a creature land. Well, I'll have to see. Okay, chap lane, pretty solid. Although I really want a black producing land now. Yeah, why are they playing Creeping Tarpit? Darkslick Shores. And Profane Tool. Oh, okay. Okay, so probably it's the April deck, right? The April O'Neil Hacktivist deck. Because that plays these kind of cards. Yeah, that's probably it. Or like something along those lines. Okay, another Buried Alive. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the chap lane here. There's some argument in discarding it and the Vesperlark and then going Leonardo's Technique or something like that. But I don't think it's worth it. Okay, 3 hits. Yeah, I'll just take the planes. So, notably the April deck has a lot of removal. Although I guess it depends on the version. Some of them just, I think, play like a lot of card advantage. But they always play like stuff like Nameless Inversion and Unable to Stream and stuff like that, so I'm gonna have to see. The deck hasn't been really that popular, so it could be anything. It could be a new brew as well. They suspend another Profane Tutor. Okay, so here I think it might be interesting to actually sneak in the Leonardo's Technique for the Airlift chap lane. Yeah, I think that's actually the best call here. You could also scry 2. I think this is actually better. I don't know if they run any Ras, although in blue-black that's gonna be hard. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to loot with the Buccaneer, since I don't have red mana. They get to tutor something now. Probably some removal spell. Or April. April would be great here, of course. It would draw them 3 cards. Also notably, if I draw an untapped black producing land, I can Buried Alive Vesperlark in 1 turn. Oh, they might run Mana Leak though. Okay, so here I guess I just attack and enlist. Yeah, they might have like Arch Enemy's Charm or something, or like yeah, some removal spell that goes through indestructible. Yeah, those are both not great. Actually, I could have kept them on top since I'm going to mill them with Airlift Chaplain anyways. Yeah, that was kind of dumb. Yeah, I should have left them on top. Yeah, milling good cards here. Yeah, this would be a great board against a Price of Progress deck, which my opponent is not playing. Yeah, so they're tutoring something, but I don't know what they're tutoring. Kind of weird. Like, it doesn't seem to be a combo deck. Okay, so it's Hive Mind. Okay. I see. Yeah. So I'm just dead here, I guess. I can deal them 5 damage, which is not going to be enough. Yeah, so they are a combo after all. Really tricked me into thinking it was um the April deck. Yeah, I can discard 5 cards. Doesn't really make a difference. Can't pay for that. Okay, I got tricked. Also pretty unlucky that I didn't draw any good lands. So I guess Canonist is solid against them. Nevermore is very good. Boromir is terrible. Flare Fortitude, not so good. Huh. So I don't really have stuff against them. Disenchant might be good. Yeah, Disenchant is pretty good. I can destroy like the Lotus blooms in their upkeep. Phyrexian Revoker is also solid against that. Yeah, I'm seeing online that there's been a 5-0 with an Archfiend of the Dross, Metamorphic Alteration, Hivemind Hybrid. That might be this. So yeah, I do have to be afraid of that. Although Disenchant kind of takes care of that. In that case, Flare Fortitude might be pretty good actually, since it prevents them from targeting my stuff to enchant. Gives us hexproof. Well, either way, Airlift chip lane, once again, too slow. Splinter's Technique, probably needed. So I don't really want to go down on too many lands. I can go down one land, I guess. But I kind of want to play the flares as well. Yeah, Hiveman is not an artifact, right? Yeah, it shouldn't be. Yeah, I'm gonna play one flare once again. Okay, one land, not playable. 4 lands. Yeah, that's kind of not the greatest hand, but it is playable. Starting with a temple. Don't need the additional land. Yeah, so this hand kind of doesn't do a lot, but it has a Canonist, which could be good. Yeah, I'm gonna play it now so they can't mana leak it. Although notably I didn't see any Forbidden Ore cards, which are probably usually played in the Archfiend version, I think. Another planes to the bottom. Okay, Wishclaw Talisman. That is an artifact. You can only use it at sorcery speed, right? No, yeah, kind of, during your turn. Yeah, I assume they will get it next turn to use Hivemind, to play Black Hivemind or something. Well, they can't do Hivemind and Pact in the same turn. But yeah, I drew Buried Life, quite good. Allows me to potentially combo off. Oh, although I would need an untapped land for that. Yeah, I don't really know what to go for here. Oh no, I can play the untapped land this turn, of course. Yeah. Oh, I should have. No, it's fine. If they have unable to scream, I might have a problem, but we'll see. They get a Lotus Bloom, doesn't count towards the Canonist, of course. So if they have like a 1-mana removal spell, plus Hive Mind, plus a Pact, that would be a kill. Okay, Vesperlark, interesting. Yeah, it looks to me like they're keeping up a counter spell. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I have to go for it, right? Okay. So I should be able to win here. Yeah, but this way you finally also get to see the other combo in the deck, which I guess is nice. Yeah, they should have played that way earlier, since now I can just do it in response to. Yeah, they did it in the wrong moment. Yeah. Whew, barely won that. If they had timed the Slaughter Pact correctly, they would have been able to live for at least one more turn, I think. But this way, I get to go to game 3. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this configuration seems fine, honestly. I'm gonna board out the flare. I didn't see any piece of alteration combo. So I guess the land comes back in. Although maybe not the land, maybe the Prowler is better. Especially on the draw. Yeah, this seems fine. Okay, let's see if I can make it to the finals. Okay, first hand has no thing that I can play, so it's a mulligan. This has 3 lands, 2 cards I don't really want in my hand, but it has a Leonardus technique. And I'm on the draw. Already down to 6. Do I have to keep that? I mean, they're not super fast, right? Yeah, I guess I can afford it. It's kind of risky, but no risk, no fun. Okay, turn 1 Lotus Bloom. That's a good start for them, of course. Do I lead on the Midgar? Yeah, I don't really want to sacrifice my creatures. Not in this game. Yeah, I hope I don't just draw lands. Okay, I might just die to the fact that I kept this hand and only draw lands going forward. Yeah, they can win turn 4. But then again, there's nothing I can do against that anyways, kind of. Okay, Okay, I probably want to Splinter Technique this turn. But for what? Yeah, not enough mana for Disenchant. The only thing, yeah, I don't, and Pithing Needle is useless. So I guess I'm taking Nevermore for next turn. In hopes that they don't kill me. Yeah, so what do I take? It's gotta be Nevermore, right? Where even is that? Yeah, it's over here. Yeah, I think that's the most reasonable choice. Yeah, of course, it's just assuming that I survive, but if I don't, then it's just over. And there's nothing I could do this turn to stop them. Like, I don't play any counter spells. I didn't draw any of my hate pieces. Well, let's see if they have it. Worth Invention. For another Lotus Bloom. They get one anyways, but okay. Probably a sign that they have the hive mind. Okay, they don't have it. Okay, that changes things. Okay, and they don't have Mana Leak or another counter. That's pretty great. Pretty great. So I might still win this one. Don't know what kind of backup plan they have. They probably have a bounce spell, but they could have played it last turn, right? Yeah, I don't know. Their deck is kind of looking weird. Okay, Profane Tutor. So I probably want to Splinter's Technique here, right? And so I have 6 mana. Yeah, I can 2 mana Splinter's Technique for... Actually, I can attack with both. Splinter's Technique for the blue combo piece. And then, in the same vein, Leonardo's Technique. Oh, well, I can just do that in the second main phase. Huh. Yeah, I think it should work. I mean, maybe they have the Pact. The one that destroys something and... But then, yeah, I mean, let's see. Or they just have a counter spell. Okay, this is a misplay, because the thing already has indestructible. Yeah, they wasted that one. Yeah, now I can just combo, right? Okay, whoa, and I win. I'm to the finals. Yeah, I mean, they misplayed twice, like both in this game and the last one. So obviously they don't know how the combo works. It's kind of new, it's kind of understandable. But yeah, I mean, I won after all, so I'll take it. Alright, so time for the finals. So my opponent has only played goblins this season so far. So I assume that they are still on that. Also pretty much the stock list. I'm on the draw. My hand is kind of bad, but it has potentially a turn 3 technique for double Chaplain. So I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, they're on goblins, I think. Yeah, the second temple could use that turns 3, but I don't really need it. I'm gonna draw lands anyways. Yeah, it's goblins for sure. Ooh, and I have Buried Alive. That's very tempting. Might play that instead next turn. Depends on what they play. Okay, Grub. Grub is pretty fine here. Doesn't do a lot. I guess the backside can make a copy of the Curse Crafter. So I guess I could do the double Chaplain play. Yeah, I mean I have 2 techniques, so it's kind of free, right? Then again, Buried Alive, but if they have a single pinger, then the whole tactic falls. So yeah, I think the double Chaplain play is better. Oh, of course I gotta discard the other one first. Actually, do I want that in my hand? Yeah, probably. Although otherwise no, I don't want that in my hand. I want this card to get the counter, right? The Vesperlark I do want though. Okay, that was pretty good. Yeah, Grub making a copy of the Curse Crafter could be problematic. But I think is it attacking? Oh no, it gets sacrificed at the end of turn. Well, let's see what they do. Yeah, I probably gotta kill the Curse Crafter though, right? I mean, I won't get the opportunity for much longer. And while Grub is scary, the Curse Crafter is what actually deals me a lot of damage. Another Leonardo's technique. Oh, and no land. That is unfortunate. Very unfortunate even. Yeah, I think it's probably best to just hardcast the Vesperlark and hope for the best. Oh, actually, they can flip the Grub and return the Curse Crafter. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So what do I do here? I gotta think for a second. Do I play this? Yeah, I guess that makes the most sense since it allows me to play another technique next turn in either case. And it sets up for another combo. Yeah, not great that I didn't draw any lands. Guess I shouldn't have bottomed one. Okay, of course I pay the mana. Probably get back the Curse Crafter, yep, of course. Yeah, Goblin Bombardment would be probably lethal here. Or like close to it. Okay, Moria Marauder is not really that much better. Draws him 4 cards. I can block 1 Goblin. Oh yeah, Skirk Prospector and Morg Fanatic. That's both really bad for me. Yep, I assumed that would happen. So I guess I just discard the Yargle here. And then I let it resolve. But yeah, this game is pretty much over. They outplayed me, I gotta say it. Yeah, now I get a land. Yeah, I have 2 of the combo pieces in the graveyard, but not the important one. Do they have lethal on board? Well, actually, they can only play the cards this turn, or like that turn. They have potentially... Yeah, they can't blight anything currently, so currently it's just 8 damage on board. Very risky if I don't try to win here. So I guess I could Vesperlark for Aleph Chaplain, and if that mills the Mimeoplasm and a Vesperlark, I could get the Vesperlark and win. I guess that's my best bet actually. It's very risky, but like, what else am I gonna do? Like, just hardcasting Vesperlark is not gonna cut it. Okay, let's YOLO it. Yeah, it's not gonna work out most likely. Yeah, it didn't work out. Although it's close enough actually. Yeah, if I survive this, I can win next turn. Most likely. But yeah, they're just gonna kill me most likely, so Probably won't matter, but I did my best. Yeah, oh no, they have the Cursecraft in hand, so of course I'm dead. Of course, of course. And they can even make a copy of it. Yeah, I'm not sure why they even bother playing these goblins before. I'm tapped out, so yeah, I gotta do this here. Okay, and now they can go crazy. Yep, there comes a Curse Crafter. Yeah, they can even make a copy of it, so definitely over. Oh, actually, can they? Yeah, they can make a copy of it, yeah. Yeah, that's way more than enough. Okay, so Magus of the Mode comes in, Plague Engineer comes in, of course. I mean, I've played this twice already. Intervention Pact against Price of Progress. Revoke. Actually, Revoker isn't that great, since they can ping it down. So Needle is better. Dam comes in, of course. Play Fortitude as a last-ditch effort. And then once again, boarding out the Chaplains and the Sprinter's Techniques, since they are too slow, as we just saw. And then 1 or 2 lands can be cut. Most likely the Midgars. But in this matchup I have to get lucky anyways, like I did in the second Goblin matchup. So everything kind of just has to work out. Yeah, I think this looks good enough. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like this and try to win. Okay, so this hand has 5 lands, but 2 temples and a Plague Engineer. So I guess I kind of have to keep it, just on the basis of Plague Engineer being really good against goblins, and temples being able to prevent me from drawing more lands. Yeah, Pithing Needle also not too great potentially. But yeah, this Plague Engineer is gonna have to carry me. This goes to the bottom, of course. Okay, they lead with a Mock Fanatic. Okay, terrible draw. So do I play the Pithing Needle here? I mean, I'm always gonna name Goblin Bombardment anyways, right? Yeah, I think it makes the most sense this way. Yeah, perfect. Perfect board to run a Plague Engineer into. Yeah, they should have, of course, sacrificed the Mach Fanatic here, but I don't know why they didn't. Probably just missed it. Yeah, Curse does like a suit of my Plague Engineer, unfortunately. And now I'm kind of just out of anything to do. I drew terribly, as usual. Vespelar can't return Plague Engineer, but Buried Alive is lethal here, so that's something at least. Yeah, that is annoying. Yeah, maybe I should have waited with the needle to name that, potentially, but I couldn't know. Now I just gotta hope for good top decks. That is not a good top deck. That is actually a terrible top deck, but okay. Can't win all the matches. Yeah, but Goblin's really popular right now. As you can see, in another planes. It's getting ridiculous. Okay, blocking here would be actually crazy. Yeah, so somehow, despite 2 surveils, I drew like, what, 4 lands in a row? And a Multani. Like the most useless cards I could have drawn. The only somewhat useful cards I drew was Vesper Lark, but it's also not great without the Buried Alive. Well, I mean, this deck does play a lot of lands, but I mean, we don't have. We always need 3 lands in the opening hand, basically, and we don't have any card draw and not any land searcher, so I think it's still kind of necessary. And I did cut 2 lands post board. Yeah, I'm deader than dust here. But nevertheless, it was still a good tournament, even though the finals were not that spectacular. So I went like 3-2, I think, with the black-white double combo deck based around Buried Alive. I think it performed pretty well. There's probably some edges that can be returned, some things to be improved, but I'm overall pretty happy. I think this deck could go places. I think it's pretty solid. And yeah, if you like the video, then tell me or something. I don't know. And yeah, I'm gonna be commentating on the Penny Dreadful 500 in a few weeks, most likely. I'll try to grab some other people to commentate with me. So tune in for that. And yeah, have fun playing Penny Dreadful and MTG, and yeah, goodbye.